All right. Good evening, everyone. How we doing? Of course, the instant I start streaming, my dogs start barking. We knew that was going to happen. It's like they know, you know? All right, we're just going live. I'm working on this SandWyrm Ringception cube. I'll hold it up in just a second. And can everybody hear me, or is the music too loud? Let me know. Feels a little loud right now. Oh geez. There we go. All right, so this is a chainmail jelly cube, right? The pattern used to make it is called Japanese 4-in-1. It just means that every ring has 4 rings going through it, and I've taken that to the next level, and I used small rings to make big rings, and wove the big rings together in the same Japanese 4-in-1 pattern, and that is what I'm working on for anyone interested. So this project will be comprised of 14,200 plus rings when it's all said and done so far. But I made an error when I initially started this project, and I ordered this bin over here is half full of 16 gauge 3/8 rings. Those are the rings that I had laying around that I was trying to use up in a project, and ended up starting this. So when I started this project, and then I ordered more rings to finish this project, and I ordered too many. Kevin, how you doing? Magenta, what's going on? Nice to see you guys. So now, instead of having worked through some rings I've had laying around for years, I'm working through all new rings. But that has happened before. It's fine. So, as of right now, it'll only be comprised of 42,000 individual rings. That may change. We will see. I am doing well. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Alright. Had a good day. Got some work done down here. Can you hold the cube again? You'd like to show your chainmail friend. Which cube? The jelly cube, the little one, or the one I'm working on? Night Sky, how you doing? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So there's that one. Right? That one is about halfway done. And then this is the one I'm working on right now. Should be like 8.5, 9 inches tall. 8.5, 9 inches on each side because it's a cube. Like I said, it might get bigger. We'll see. So I only have 4 strands of Byzantine completed to be added to this tonight. I was intending to get back down here so I could prep some more. So I've got all these closed rings here to turn into these strands of Byzantine, and these strands of Byzantine are what hold these big rings in place. You're very welcome. And 8.5 to 9 inches is more than enough. I wouldn't know. Excuse me. So I was planning on getting back down here and making more strands of Byzantine to add. Lol, she said, oh, Sean White. Who is your friend? Somebody knows me. My first and last name. Not that that information isn't everywhere, but... Oh, yeah, okay. Meloria. Is that Heidi? I know the name Meloria. I am probably know the person. Yeah, okay, it's Heidi. Okay. Right on. Very cool, very cool. She does awesome stuff too. There's a whole, like, for those of you who don't know, there's a whole group of people that make chainmail. And they all make different stuff. Yeah. So I'm happy. I am currently working on a sculpture. Plenty of people make cool things like I have a friend who makes duck sculptures and pigs and hedgehogs. It was like a large character name or something for LARP. Right on. At least. Magenta. I have friends who make useful things like coasters. People make jewelry like necklaces, bracelets, and, you know, just all kinds of stuff. You can give 2 chainmail artists the same rings, and they will make 2 different things. Good Lord. Pretty sure after this project I'm going to have to buy new Zuron pliers because these are like slipping like crazy. You need to restart. It glitches when you plug your phone in. Let me double check something here. Nope, I'm on the right Wi-Fi network, so. So, anyway. Yeah. Large group of chainmail artists. Everybody makes different stuff. And it's a pretty cool community for the most part. You have your people, you know, your troublemakers in every group. In every niche, you know, there's always someone. I was watching a video. There was a lady complaining about, I forget. She is a sawyer. She runs a saw. She mills wood, right? She had some people coming at her for her woodwork. And apparently, like, she's skilled enough and certified to cut beams for naval ships, which is apparently a skilled thing. Astrid, how you doing? It's like, you know, there's always someone giving her crap about what she's doing, and every niche I've ever seen has that group of characters. But for the most part, the chainmail community is pretty cool. Just post your latest project in the Discord. Right on. So let's take a look here. If you're watching and you're not in the Discord and you want to be, see here. I'm assuming it's this blue earring bracelet necklace set. That's gorgeous. Right on. Okay, so if you're watching and you want to be in the Discord and see what Kevin posted, in the link tree in my bio is a link where you can download the Mailworks app on Google, but there's also a web app link that I have up right now because I was having problems getting the app back up on Apple. That should be resolved soon. But you can go to the link tree and open up the web app or download it on Google and join the Discord and start your journey, your first forays into chainmail. All right, set those aside. I've got 5 strands here. We'll just add those as time goes on. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate you. So, I've got to be careful about how I go about doing this, because what I did to myself yesterday, I don't know if you can tell, I've got these 3 rings here, and I have to weave another chain through here, and that is not going to leave me a lot of room to connect this. So it's going to be fun putting this one in. I'm going to try and keep it to like only making it so that I'm only going through 2 rings at a time. Come on. Good Lord. Right? It's hard to see from here. Right? I'm going to make sure that I'm only adding 2 rings or going through 2 rings at a time, because I don't have enough room to put this all together, but I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. So, you got a friend trying to convince you to make him a cube that looks like a Wagyu steak. Nice. It was a present for your daughter for her birthday tomorrow? Right on. Very cool, very cool. Happy birthday to your daughter. Let's see if I can add this one real quick. Do I not have enough on here? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's not enough. I'll have to correct that one. Anyway, alright. We were talking last night about how different shaped cubes, like a pyramid or a D20. Yeah. As a non-chain mailer, you don't understand why, but Heidi wanted me to tell you she's anodizing. Right on. What is she anodizing? I want an anodizer. I have one in mind that I want to get, but like I also have adult responsibilities that I have to take care of, so, and I just spent $500 on my wife's garden bed, and to finish it the way I want, it's going to be another $500 in materials, so my anodizer will have to wait, which is fine. Probably just bragging she has one is your guess. No, I think I'm well aware that she has one. She does good work, so. Tell her that I am quite jealous. I want to be like her someday. That's another thing, like some of the older, I don't want to use the term older, some of the more experienced members of the community are really starting to just kind of shine with her, with their skill, you know? So it's pretty cool to watch. You're basically broke for the next 3 months. $2,000 for insurance and registration on your school bus. Yeah, that'll do it to you. I've got some things. Okay, so I was hoping to have my anodizing set up, my coiling and cutting set up, my riveting set up, all finished by the end of this year. And it's looking like that's not going to happen because of how screwed I got on taxes. So, but like to get the app back up on Apple, that's $200 right there, right? And that's, you know, it's important to have the app up and working, okay? Otherwise there's no point in having it, you know? 1, 2, 3, 4. So, got to get that up and going. The only way you can conceptualize a D20 is as bits of Byzantine and hollow. Maybe, yeah. But, what is this? Uh-oh. What are we at? It reminds me you need to check Facebook Marketplace for more chain link fence. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so I've got my kid's birthday coming up in August. We've got tuition starting back up this month. You know, there's just a bunch of other stuff that takes priority right now. So, but I will get there. And hopefully by doing, I don't know, what I'd love for someone to be watching and be like, that's an awesome cube when it's done, and then pay me a lot of money for it, right? The issue... Okay, so for those wondering what I'm doing, this is a sculptural application of chainmail, right? And it is a display piece. It's not armor. It's just meant to be something to look at and to touch, right? And in order to sell something like this, my best guess, because I've never sold a piece like this before, is that this would sell well, I believe, in a gallery along with multiple other chainmail art pieces, right? So, I'm hoping it would be awesome if someone bought this, you know, from watching on TikTok or Facebook or X or Twitch or whatever, right? That would be amazing. It's highly unlikely that's going to happen, but it would be amazing. Sir Guido, how you doing? Elspeth, how you doing? You're facing dragons, facing eviction, facing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, don't come back and say eviction. Don't say you're facing eviction. I would feel terrible. You were just like, yep, how'd you know? You're okay currently working on your commission project? Right on. Yo, brother. Hey, Sir Guido, how you doing? Would be really cool in the same exhibit as a glass and clay chainmail. I think so, too. That would be awesome. I have an idea for an alternative media project. I was hoping to get to that this summer. And it's going to be... it'll be expensive. But also... it'll be really cool. Did you switch to the smaller rings? You did, and it looks better. There you go. That's another advantage of being a part of a chainmail community, or like the Discord or any of the forums, or... right, is you find other chainmail artists who may have tried what you're doing, and they might be able to help you out sometimes. This is really awkward to try and weave this, I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Nothing new for today. You have some to start with, but not enough to finish the project. Oh, the fence. Yeah. Hannah, how you doing? So, anyway, where was I? Today, I played Repairman for my son's Oculus. You're doing good? It's good to hear. You know, he's young and he's hard on electronics. And he's had his Oculus for several years now. And the controllers are a bit wonky. They've got drift and they're not as good as they once were. Story of my life, man. But I had to calibrate the... Well, no. Okay, I did have to calibrate the controllers, and that helped with the controllers, right? So, cool. Calibrate the controllers, get them working a little better. They're not perfect, but he got to play for a little bit, and then he now needs batteries in the controllers, and I'm like, I'm not going to the store for AA's right now. You'll be fine, okay? We're going to take it to the U-Break iFix place. I guess they do a lot of repairs on Oculuses and Oculus controllers. Janelle, how you doing? So, it was 6 pounds, 14.9 ounces when I weighed it last night. And I don't know how many rings I've used up so far, but when it's done, it should be around 42,000 rings. So, you love the name for that place? Yeah, it's funny. So anyway, I'm playing Repairman. I get his Oculus kind of working. I'm stoked. I'm feeling good about myself. And before that, when I went to go and like log into his Oculus, into Meta and my accounts and everything, I somehow, like I had made it so that the Oculus was under my account. And somehow Meta discovered that the Oculus was being used by a 9-year-old, and I had to make him his own account. They were asking for a bunch of, like, his birthday, his name. I was like, you don't need that information at all. You could have just left it the way it was. I'm not going to give you my kid's information just because you want to change around, you know, whatever, you know, data you're collecting on Oculus users, right? So that pissed me off. Why do I have this in my hand? No. Ah. Had to rewrap your pliers tonight just so you can buff up your pliers to help your hands? Right on. What did you use? I've seen people use all kinds of stuff, but anything with adhesive or athletic tape or anything always just seem to kind of make a mess as opposed to be something that's long-term and as opposed to being something that's useful long-term. So there we go. All right. Very cool, very cool. So I need to add 5 more little rings to this. All right. Wow, you are truly dedicated to your craft. Looking great. Thank you. It's coming along. You know, we'll get there. Got a really long way to go on this particular one, but I'm over halfway, right? For context, when I say I'm over halfway, right? These are chains. There's 95 total. There's 95 total rings. The big rings made of the smaller rings here, and all the chains to make them are done. I'm just working with the black and stainless Byzantine to hold everything in place. So hopefully it'll work. Okay, use a self-adhesive bandage wrap. It is what tattoo artists use. Okay, so that's kind of like athletic tape. Let me know how it works. I don't use stuff like that myself, but if it works well, when people ask, I can be like, hey, yo, self-adhesive bandage wrap. But yeah, having to, you know, I mean, I didn't put any of his actual information in. I just, like, gave a fake birthday and used my own. So, used my own name. But it's just like, you don't need to know my kid's name. You don't need to know if they're using my Oculus. I don't know how you found out. So, like, why do you care if a 9-year-old uses an Oculus on his parents' account? Like, why do you need to know that specifically? It was a whole weird process, and I couldn't get out of it. So, all right, let's see here. This one, these two, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We'll just throw this one on here, and then we'll make some more. Kids shouldn't have to make an account. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, like, well, and that's like that was kind of what they were selling it as a, they want to make sure that their content is suitable for children. If children are on the Oculus, okay, fine, right? But, you know, give me the option to just leave it under my account and the way I had it, at least. But no, I didn't have that. You know? And I trust Meta to make a child-safe environment about as far as I can throw them. So, Facebook, Meta, whatever, Instagram, they've never been able to really control what's on their platforms in any meaningful manner. Kids have names under Rusty Shackelford, yeah. That's Meta trying to farm data, yeah. Yep. I mean, it is what it is. He's back on his Oculus. He's happy. We'll get the controller figured out tomorrow, hopefully. But come on, go in there. There you go. Metadata. Yeah, exactly. Oh. Ho ho ho. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Very punny. Alright. Amount of strands of Byzantine. So let's make some more. What time is it? Oh, that took up half an hour. We can probably make like 2 or 3 more before 10. That'll be fine. But anyway, that was my day. So I made dinner. I went upstairs to make dinner at 3. And it's let the dogs out, do the prep work, you know, feed the dogs, get dinner started, had to run to the store, And then when I got back, I had to cook some bacon. So my whole upstairs smells like bacon right now. And then I burnt the bacon. Is this purpose built like your saddlebag covers or an art piece? This is an art piece. So I'm hoping to have like 10 to 15 of these art pieces done and then put them on display in a gallery at some point. Hopefully in the next year or two. And we will see how that goes. Speaking of the saddlebags, I covered my saddlebags in chainmail, and I've still got to do the toolkit and the gas tank bib for that. Yes, you make jokes and embarrass your kids. It's your purpose in life. Yeah. You're trying so hard to finish this big cube by tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest. Ugh. I have video ideas to go with a custom cube someone got. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, lots of work to do. This was kind of an accident as to how it got started, because it does have old rings that I had laying around my basement in it. And so we are cleaning up the basement with this project. However, it really got out of hand with this size, which is my fault. I was originally trying to make a dragon scale pine cone as a sculpture, which I will still make one of those, but I'm going to finish this first. Only 7 layers to go, about 45 to 60 minutes a layer. Nice. There's Schoolie's custom motorhome plates. FFOOFF. Is that hex code for color? For RGB color wheel? Oh, and the other night when I was talking about RGB, and it's CMYK. Cyan, magenta, yellow, and I don't remember what K stands for. But things that appear on your monitor are in RGB, and things that are printed, like print products that I design and sell, are CMYK. That's hex code for magenta. I should have put that together. That would be the color. That's hilarious. FF00FF. It's very clever. I like it. So, anyway. There's, yeah, I think with this Astrid, with this cube, I think it's over 700 rings aside. I haven't counted them in a while. But that's like 2 or 3. It's like 3 hours. Most people think it's F off. Nice. What about YKK? I don't know anything about YKK. What's going on, Taylor? What is YKK? If it's, you know... Oh, zippers? Yeah. Where are they in Taiwan? So if you have a metal zipper and you look at it, it says YKK on it, which, like, all the zippers do. A lot of them. It's because they're all from the same manufacturer. You remember Y2K? If that's... No. Y2K is something completely different. I remember Y2K as well, though I didn't understand it. I just remember the hysteria around it. Planes were going to fall out of the sky. Computers were all going to stop working. Nothing happened, but... Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. It's like, I remember when net neutrality was going to kill us all, or unalive us all. I remember when Y2K was going to be the end of the world. The end of the Mayan calendar, that was a big one. I've lived through a lot of potential apocalypses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. You're in Colorado Springs at New Year's. You just know people were a little crazy. YKK's in Japan? Okay. You were like 8. Oh, you're a baby. I was grown. Because I'm old. My dad even got caught up in a bit of Y2K hysteria. Like, he was looking for... this was after his 2 divorces. And on his second divorce, he had these pellet stoves installed in the second house I lived in. And they're kind of cool. They like, you set a temperature on them and they auto feed little sawdust pellets down into a burner that like pumps oxygen or pumps air in, right? And burns the pellets at a higher heat than what they would normally burn at. And it kicks out a ton of heat. So they're like these really efficient stoves. So my dad was like, Y2K is coming. Gonna get me a pellet stove. Yep. I remember going shopping with him for one. You turned 21 in Y2K? Let's see here. How old was I? I was not quite 21. I would have been 17. I would have been 17 December 31st, 1999 to January 1st, 2000. I wouldn't turn 18 until later that year. It's always something. Yeah. Well, I mean, even here in Wisconsin, right? There's a lot that you have to be prepared for. You know? Like, if you're going on a trip anywhere in the state, so you need to have food and blankets in the car. And an alternative source of heat. Because if your car breaks down on the side of the road during a snowstorm, you know, no one's coming to save you. If the power goes out in the winter, you know, you better have a generator. Come on, there you go. So it's, you know, kind of natural to be a little paranoid up here. But I would like to be a little more paranoid myself, personally. I'm sure I'll get there at some point. But they make these Generac generators that plumb right into your house, and your use your gas lines, and like they'll kick on automatically if the power goes out and keep everything running. And definitely, I'm just saying the extreme things. There's always another date to worry about. The end is near. Yeah, it's always something, for sure. I think a little safety. Okay. Got a generator if the power goes out. I've got an air pump if I get a flat tire because the air pressure changes overnight. I have a sleeping bag somewhere. I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I have one. That's about all the equipment I have to survive an apocalypse. We should figure out all this out. We moved from South Cali to Eau Claire. All right, yeah. There is a learning curve to living in Wisconsin. I'll tell you one of my first mistakes. We didn't even have a snow shovel when we came here. Nice. I had to go out and buy snow shovels when I first got here. That was my first mistake. Is like skip the snow shovel. Just go straight to a snowblower as soon as you can. Right. When I first had snowfall here, we had about 4 feet in a matter of like 2 days, and I'm only being a little hyperbolic. We had more snow than I've ever seen in my life pour down in one 24, 48 hour period. And I grew up in Boise, Idaho, where it snows every year. Okay? I only shoveled like behind my wife's vehicle, and I left the snow pile behind my truck where the plows had come through and pushed all the snow, into the driveway. I left that there for too long, like a day or two, and by the time I went back out to clear out the rest of the driveway, when the weather had kind of cleared up a little bit, it was a giant block of ice. I had to get an ice pick to go out and chisel at this, 4 foot high ice block in my driveway. So, don't not clear your driveway if you can avoid it. All right. You're unfortunately stuck in... Okay. Your anxiety is quite high about the political tension. Just need to get out of populated areas. Astrid, I am unfortunately stuck in a populated area. Trying to look for housing outside the city for next year. Words are, I can read. Trying to look for housing outside the city for next year or the next with the in-laws. There you go. You don't clear your driveway? Off to bed for you. Kevin, have a good night. Nice work tonight. I like the look of that jewelry set you made. Keep up the good work. Yes, it would justify a flamethrower, and if I had had one, I would have used it. Yeah. But, yeah. The other trick to using a snowblower and shoveling snow and everything is that, like, if it's snowing, go out every 2 hours and shovel whatever has accumulated. And, maybe every 3 hours. But, like, shovel the night before you go to bed, and then shovel in the morning when you get up. And that will save you a lot of headaches in the long run. Just because the reality is that if you let the snow accumulate, like if it starts snowing and you don't go out and shovel till it's done in Wisconsin, you're going to have like 3 feet of snow to move before you figure it out. Yuck, snow talk. 100% patience. How you doing? Put chains on the tires and just drive through it. There you go. That is one of the other things you do enjoy about apartment life. You don't have to shovel or mow anything. I lived in an apartment for about 6 months before we got a house in Texas. And before that, I lived in barracks for several years. And after barracks and my brief stint in apartments, I will, despite my complaints, I will mow the lawn and shovel. And hopefully never live in an apartment again. Knock on wood. Leave beers or treats every so often. Yeah. Just hide the beer in the snowdrift as you are going along. I've had one other year where we had piles of snow that were taller than me from the snowplows, and we were snow blowing snow, as chest high to me, and we were running out of places to put the snow. But that happened a couple years ago. Other than that, It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not fun. The other thing about Wisconsin you got to know is that Lake Michigan is not a thing to play with. It is a violent lake, and if you were not careful for even just a second, you can very quickly get into a really volatile, risky situation. So it's summertime, and it's not as bad this year. You're good, loving summer. You're in upstate New York, so we can have a lot of snow. Yeah, you know. Can we see the green inlay? Absolutely. Actually sounds nice. You love the snow and cold. The issue is not like that there is snow and cold. The issue is the extreme amount of snow and the, negative 40-degree weather that we'll get sometimes, right? As a jet stream comes across, we will get like a week and a half of negative 30, negative 40-degree weather, and then we'll get 3 to 4 feet of snow. Hey, Fuller, how you doing? All right, let me grab that inlay for you. Cold never bother you anyway. Our snow in mid. Oh, excuse me. It's different from your Midwest snow. I believe it. All right, hang on. I'm going to move this chair and see if that gives me a little more room. Not a lot, but all right. For anyone watching, this is the Finnegan's Wake inlay that I just finished. Right, that Fuller was trying to get a good look at. And I'm trying to show it to 2 different cameras if it looks wonky to you. There's a piece of leather behind it, right? I turned around to show you, but I don't have enough room to turn it around. You can see the edges of it there. But yeah, that's the one I just finished. I need a spear for this dowel rod and some wall hooks, and it's good. Excuse me. Looks awesome. Thank you. It's going to go up on the wall soon. I haven't decided. Okay. So I need to grab a set of wall hooks that are, cool. And I need to stop worrying about getting a spear for it. That can come later. I just really need to get it up on the wall, right? So I'm going to order some hooks, and then we'll get it put in place, and it'll be good to go. And then later on, if I get out to the Renaissance Festival and I find a spear I like, or if I find a manufacturer that, the issue is I don't want to buy crap. And it's hard to tell what is and is not crap. Right? But if you're digging through Etsy, digging through eBay or digging through different manufacturers, it's like some bent railroad ties as hooks. That would be definitely cool I don't think I have room for that. The inlay is about the length of the wall space I have. So I don't have, like, the hooks are going to have to be right up next to the ceiling. But the railroad ties would work. You know, I just want something cool. Like on my Orca inlay, I've got whale tails as wall hooks, and it matches the inlay, and it looks cool. I just want to do the same thing with that inlay. It's warmer here when it's snowing, so it's a heavy wet snow, sleet, and sometimes ice. Yeah, that's kind of how it is in Boise, right? Like, it gets into the teens and 20s most of the time in the winter. There's 2 to 3 inches of snow. It's good, like snowman snow, and then it snows in the mountains. But the snow in the valley where I grew up, at in the foothills of the mountains, it was only there for a day or two, and then it went away. The snow in Wisconsin, once it snows, it doesn't go away until spring. Right? That's probably my biggest issue with it. What have I done here? I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. No, those two are right. It's the children who are wrong. No. Where did this even come from? I do need to go through before I go much further and spend some time making little adjustments to these strands of Byzantine, because some of them are getting, they're like just kind of out of place. I don't like this song. Dislike Trek. All right, Magenta, have a wonderful evening. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you hanging out. Get some good rests. Look at that. 2, 3, 4. One more. It's kind of randomly placed. I don't know if that's something I did yesterday or what. Okay, there we go. That's better. So, moral of the story is be careful when you live in Wisconsin, because the weather can turn on a dime and blah blah blah. That's all the point of what I was saying. All right, you're going to bed as well. Astrid, thanks for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to see you. Appreciate you being here. Okay, so I need to add one more to this right here. Got 3 on there. So, make a couple 5-lits and make, what time is it? 9:20. Oh, we got plenty of time. Plenty of time. And I will get, I'll try to spend like 2 hours tomorrow making strands of Byzantine. I don't know. I think it's boring watching someone make this on stream. I think it's much cooler to work on the cube on stream. So I appreciate everyone hanging out. Despite the strands of Byzantine I have to stop and make. I only need 380 of them total, and I don't know, I probably made 50. Got a ways to go on this project, but it is over halfway done. So I'm hoping for several good days of getting these blackened stainless rings straightened out, and hopefully that will help me get caught up. The blackened stainless rings were out of round when I got them, and so I've had to adjust each and every one that I've used so far, and I've got like 20,000 rings ready to be fixed, or needing to be fixed rather, and it's going to take me a couple days, weeks to work through all of that. So it added at first I was thinking it added about a month to this project, but I think I've already done so much work on it already that I probably really only have about a month left. So we'll see. Probably 6 weeks, hopefully 5, and if we're really lucky, we'll be done with this, first week of August. It'd be cool to have this done. I would also like my desk space back. The Finnegan's Wake flag took up space on my desk for years, right? That was the big inlay I just held up a minute ago. And it was kind of rolled up and tucked off into the corner over here, but now I've got this project sitting here. And I need to get some computer work done. It's hard to do that when you have so much clutter. But such is the name of the game. We'll get this project done, and then got a dozen more waiting in the wings. I mentioned I still got to finish the toolkit for the motorcycle and the gas tank bib, which I looked at the way the gas tank is mounted to my frame, and I haven't quite come up with an idea of how I'm going to go about making a bib for it. It's going to be an interesting project to work through. But I have the supplies for it, so might as well make it, right? Oh, miscounted. Almost made a 4-lit instead of a 5-lit. So how many? Okay. We had 6 that didn't have any on them. Now we're down to 4. So we got 2 of the big rings with some Byzantine on them. That's a good start. Okay. It's like once we get that initial layer all wrapped up, we can start working on the next layer. And start like building up. I'm excited. It's going to start coming together. It's one of those projects where, what is it called? Yeah, it's one of those projects where like I'm almost at critical mass, It's like I've almost done all the little itty bitty stuff to where the next thing you know, this project's just going to be done. Thought I felt a bug on me. And that's how I feel about like a lot of the projects that are just laying around down here. I haven't necessarily worked on them, but I've worked through so many, you know, so much of the stuff that's been laying around for forever that either needed a little more work or, you know, piles of rings that needed to be used up. Like, I've gone through so much of it. I'm really happy with just getting these projects done, you know? What is the next project after this one? I have I've already started this cube here. And these are all my rings for it. And so I'll be adding on this. It's half of a, this is a gallon bag. It's half full. And they make really decent cubes. So this is my next project. And I'm going to make a cube and then try and raffle it off. Just get someone to win a really large cube. So then after that, I don't necessarily know what's next. I've got projects that I have are the gas tank bib, leather and chainmail gas tank bib. I'm going to wrap the toolkit that for my Road King in chainmail. I want to get those projects done this winter, right? So after the riding season, and then going probably from like October, and then having them done by April, right? So I'm not too worried about doing those right away. I've got the cube that I want to raffle off. I have another sculpture that I want to do, but it's more of a practice piece as opposed to something I will put up in a gallery at some point. We will see. And then I have several chainmail straps that they were intended as guitar straps, but I was never happy with the quality of them. But I found a method of guitar strap making where I can attach the chainmail to some leather and make a strap, a functional guitar strap for it. And so that's what I'm going to do with those. And I'm going to go back and actually buy different leather for that than what I bought initially. So that's another hide and another trip to Tandy Leather. And then I have like 40 pendants that need chains for necklaces and 20 bracelets that I have to make at some point, because I have like I have the supplies for them. And so whoa, that almost caused me damage. -1 HP, almost. So yeah, jewelry, like 20 bracelets and I think 40 necklaces that I have the pendants and the findings for. I got to order some rings for them. Guitar straps, chainmail and leather guitar straps. Finished the chainmail and leather on my motorcycle, and then that's, I don't know, that's kind of all the big stuff. Renee, how you doing? Those are kind of all the big projects that I have going on right now. We will see. What am I going to do with all the black rings that I'm working with right now? So these are being woven into strands of Byzantine, right? And then the strands of Byzantine are being placed on these rings to help hold them in place so they don't slide around. They had a tendency to slide past each other when I initially started this project. And it's mostly just to keep them in place and add a color contrast, because if it was all just regular stainless steel, it's kind of difficult to pick out what's going on. It just looks like a lump, right? Looks great. Thank you. You saw the banner? Right on. Yeah, that Finnegan's Wake inlay is... I'm very glad it's done. That's a project that has taken me a lifetime, right? The outer edge, the loops across the top, the dags across the bottom, that was like a week's worth of work. Probably two. Okay? The squiggly Celtic knotwork in the middle, that was where all of my struggle was. And then finally I just started grinding through it and came up with something that kind of looked like the original design, and it came out way better than what I had initially intended. And since the Finnegan's Wake bar is now closed, I get to keep it. So I was going to give it to them, but there's a ton of work in there. Yeah. Also, just making the numbers to know how many rings to order. Yeah. Well, how many rings are in that inlay? It's like 33 to 35,000. I didn't go back through and count everything, but it's close to that. It's over 33,000. And I used up almost all of the rings I had ordered. So, lots of lessons were learned on that project, right? Like, prep work makes the dream work. I did no prep work on that inlay, and it took me 19 years. Not because, like, chainmail is hard, but because that design is difficult to freehand when you're young and dumb and inexperienced, like I was when I started it. So, I believe that I could have done the prep work and known how many rings of each color I would have needed so I could order them all at once from the same batch, and I could have gotten Zolosk irregular grid painter pulled up and done the design on the computer, but at that time I didn't want to. You know? I was like, screw that. I freehanded all the rest of my inlays. I'll just freehand this one too. And yeah, that was a mistake. I don't think I've seen your online in a while, but I go to Tell Pliers and got to finish the harness project you were planning. Oh, right on. Yeah, it was like between Father's Day and July Independence Day, right? Like, I was really busy. I had to replace a fence post. I was working out in 100% humidity. It's 10,000 degrees outside. And, you know, I'd take a couple days off to build a planter bed for the wife and then just recover. And then, you know, it's summertime and it's beautiful. There's beautiful days where the weather's just amazing. And, you know, somehow a beer ends up in my hand. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to have a beer and maybe I'll stream too. But usually I just have another beer. So, but I got most of the backyard stuff done. The way the planter bed is, I like it, but I want to add on to it. That's going to be some cash there and some time, but I like the concept of it. So, I'm going to make a little horseshoe with 2x12 by 8 foot beams and some retaining wall bricks and some rebar to hold it, you know, in place, and then I got to fill it all with dirt. That's going to be the part that really kills me. is filling it with dirt. Because I have space for 96 cubic feet of dirt, and I need to add 144. So what is 96 plus 144? That's 240. I need 240 cubic feet of dirt. So that's going to be fun because I need free dirt. What is the aspect ratio for Byzantine? I'm using 18 gauge 3/16. I'm going to go with 4. 3.7 for a 3-ring, 3.7 for a 3-ring connector. I don't know. I would actually have to really look that up. I don't know that number off the top of my head. That's another chart I need to make. What charts am I working on? I'm working on a AWG to SWG conversion chart. Like, I think I'm done with that, actually. I just need to put it in the app. And I'm working on some other conversion chart. I forget. That's the computer work I need to sit down and do, right? But I should add an aspect ratio chart. That would be a good idea. So if you give me a second, I can actually measure this and tell you what the aspect ratio of these 18 gauge 3/16 rings is. I know 18 gauge 5/32 makes a 2-ring connector. Last I checked. And I don't remember if that's American wire gauge or standard wire gauge. But alright, we got our handy dandy calculator pulled up and a pair of calipers. Go on 0. Okay. .05 diameter. 0.05 diameter. Oh no, that's in inches. It doesn't matter, but all right. 0.195. Yeah. Okay, so the aspect ratio on this is 3.9. I think the aspect ratio for 18 gauge 5/32 is 3.5, and that makes a 2-ring connector. And this, I'm using a 3-ring connector on this, and the AR is 3.9. Oh. So 4. Does that make sense? Don't press the wrong button. That was a guess, too. When I said an AR of 4, that was a guess. All right. So I have 4 more big rings on this, on the base of this, to add the blackened stainless to. Right? And then, so that's 16 more strands of Byzantine. Obviously, I'm not going to get through all that tonight. But we might be able to get one more in here. It's coming together. Are we going to be able to put a captured marble in here? That is the question. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. There might be enough room to capture a marble in here. And if that's the case, right? If we get up to this third layer, we'll get some, like, I think these are 1 1/4 inch glass marbles, but I'll grab some really nice high polished stainless bearings. You're just looking to get into scale mail. Any recommendations about where to get the scales? So my exposure to scale mail is really limited. The Ring Lord probably has the best deal as far as bulk scales go, right? If you want like really high-end stuff, Steampunk Garage does some like titanium scales. They're anodized titanium scales. Oh, you know what? You know where you should go if you just want like some anodized aluminum scales. I think it's chainmailjoe.com. I think. And that's going off of what other people have told me. Someone out there is making anodized aluminum scales other than the Ring Lord. And I think it's Chainmail Joe. I could be wrong. Right? But if you're looking for like bulk steel scale mail scales, it's going to be the Ring Lord. And, you know, holes are going to be out of place and the quality's not going to be the best, but you should be able to get a lot of them for cheap. Cheaper-ish. Excuse me. Oh, that reminds me. I have 2 whole scale mail projects that I have to restart. So, if you go into the link tree in my bio and look at the web app, which is like the first link, the Mailworks web app, or if you want to download it from the Google Play Store, you can do that as well. And you go into the suppliers section. There's a list of 15 or 16 suppliers in the suppliers section on the app, and I'm not 100% sure who produces scales, but that's like the list to go through. And actually, that one individual earlier who was talking about Heidi, if any of you were here at the beginning of the stream, someone popped in and said that I knew their friend, and their friend was Heidi. Heidi Archer of Meloria Mail, M-A-L-O-R-I-A, M-E-L-O-R-I-A, was doing some anodizing. I'm assuming she's making like anodized titanium scales. Some Meloria Mail may be one that is not on the list of suppliers, but I'm not sure what she was anodizing. So those are my recommendations. My scale mail exposure is limited to, I have 2 kits from the Ring Lord from a long time ago, and I have these really crappy split rings that I did not like weaving. Like, you know, you open up a key ring to put a key on it, and the key ring closes back to its normal shape, right? Well, a split ring is very similar. A split ring is very similar to a key ring. Random, I don't know what a shootout for shootout is. I don't know what that means. You're talking to an old person. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who can't count, apparently. Unless things are in a line. There. So, the split rings that I got from the Ring Lord for the scale mail kits that I ordered 20 years ago are when you use your pair of pliers. This is a pair of split ring pliers. It's got that tooth thing so you can grab where the key ring is. Those would always leave the split rings that I had open. Right? When you post someone on socials to bring attention to their account. Oh, I can't read. Shout out for shout out. I know what a shout out is. Man. I need to get my eyes checked. Okay, random. I mean, I'll be more than happy to take a look at your social medias. What kind of content do you post? Because here's the thing. Like, you actually have to have content. You know what I mean? And I've never seen it. So, at no point would I ever just be like, yes, to something like that without a thorough investigation. You have pictures of animals and your friends, you just started planning on posting more. Alright, well, once you plan on posting more, and post more of, like, your stuff, come back and talk to me then. We'll see. I shout out people all of the time. I repost people's stuff all of the time. But 99% of it is people in my niche. And then occasionally friends, like, I share my brother's scuba videos and my friend's barbecue videos because he lives nearby, and so I am not afraid to shout out someone, but there's got to be something to, you know, worth shouting out. So, oh, hey, beating the clock here. Thought that would have taken longer. We need 16 more to finish this base layer. And once we have this together, we'll need 15 more. And that will only take us... what is 15 times 70? 5 is 105. So that's 120, 135. 135. No, 1,350. 1,350 rings. No, it doesn't hurt to ask. The only thing that can happen is someone can say yes or no. And I just gave you the parameters with which I would be willing to do a shout out, so if you get there, let me know. Yeah. So that's where the math really comes in. Each of these big rings has 4 strands of Byzantine on it, right? Each strand of Byzantine is 70 rings. So there's 280, is that right? 70 times 4 is 280? Yeah. Black and stainless rings for every big ring. And there's 95 large rings, and which makes for 380 strands of black and stainless, and then you multiply that by 70 rings apiece, and you get 26,600 rings. Oh boy. It's a lot, but it'll be worth it. You can already see it kind of coming together. So I think here was a funny thing that happened to me today. Obviously, I posted update photos of this cube before, right? That was a while back. It didn't quite look the same. But after last night's stream, all of my streams get posted to my business page and my personal page, and you know, they're on YouTube, X, Twitch, and Facebook, and you know, I try to be as present as possible. Okay? And I've been working on this project for a while, right? I worked on this a lot in May. And yesterday, all I did was post a picture of it. And I had just assumed that people had caught, like, parts of my stream as I was live, as they scroll through their feed. But apparently not, because once I posted a picture of this, there were more wow reactions than anything. Like, no one had seen it before. Right? Like, I never get more wow reactions than likes on a post. But I posted this, and there were a lot more wow reactions. Like, holy crap. That's cool. And this isn't like some super top secret project I'm working on. I have streamed about this multiple times. So, I don't know, it was just a weird reaction. Like, I guess I should post more update photos so that people can see what I'm working on. So, I'm terrible at social media, so. And platforms like Facebook are barely worth posting to. Like, I don't even post to my personal timeline anymore. I will only post to groups that I'm in. You know? Just because the whole platform has just become trash. 500 advertisements in between a friend's post and another friend's post. It's ridiculous. And of course, I'm exaggerating, but I think the highest number I got to was 28 advertisements or follow suggestions of people I didn't know. And I've even gone into the back settings and been like, you need to reduce the number of ads and suggestions I'm seeing. And it's just like a ridiculous number. So I usually don't post to my personal page outside of streams, you know? So it was weird. It was weird to get that reaction. People, like, it felt like people hadn't seen what I'd been working on. Which I guess they probably hadn't, but. Where are we at here? We're going to finish just in time. All right, for anyone hanging out on TikTok, in the link tree in my bio is the web app and the link to the Google Play Store where you can download the Mailworks app. The web app just opens up on another page. I put that up because I was having trouble with the mobile app on Apple. But I'm cleared to go to Apple. Got to pay them $200 to put the app back up. And then I will put the Apple link back in the link tree, right? And then inside of the Mailworks app is a bunch of resources if you were thinking about starting your chainmail journey. And there's also a Discord in there that you can join if you want to hang out with other cool chainmail artists of varying skill levels. We all kind of hang out in there and see here. If you want to support me, there's multiple ways to do that. You can help fund projects by going to mailworks.com. That's my website. I design and sell chainmail themed apparel and accessories. And whenever you purchase something from there, that helps provide me with money for supplies to make cool stuff from chainmail. Right? There's also a Ko-Fi, a coffee link if you just want to donate like $5 and say, hey, thanks for making cool stuff from chainmail. There's also... No, that's it. Those are the only two ways to support me. If you do end up going to mailworks.com and you do pick out something nice for yourself that is chainmail themed. Wow, that got screwed up. If you use discount code LIVESTREAM, all one word, lowercase, LIVESTREAM, you will get 20% off anything you purchase from the store. And that is only for viewers like you. It's my way of saying thanks for hanging out. I do appreciate you. The support makes it all worth it. The interaction makes it all worth it. I love it when new people come and see what I'm working on and fall in love with a new hobby. That's absolutely my favorite thing. You know, but just having people to hang out with and interact with while I sit here and work on this stuff. You guys being here makes me want to be here, which helps me make sure I get my butt down here so I can work. Right? So I get stuff done so it doesn't sit around for forever. Alright. So, I think that we probably have more than 1,350 rings in here to finish off the rest of these big rings here. Excuse me. But I will try and sit down for a couple hours and make some strands of Byzantine so that we can start moving on to this next layer here. So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe, if not tomorrow, then the day after. We'll see. A little bit of progress every day goes a long way, and we'll eventually get this finished. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. But yeah. So use discount code LIVESTREAM at checkout when you get yourself a chainmail themed apparel or accessory from mailworks.com. And I'm usually here 8:30 to 10 most nights of the week. And it's summertime, so sometimes I'm not here. Sometimes there's beautiful weather outside, and I find myself with a beer in my hand. But I think most of the big outside work that I'm gonna have to do that wipes me out to where I can't stream, I think most of that's done. So knock on wood. Hopefully I don't get too many more exhausting honeydews this summer that prevents me from streaming. So 8:30 to 10 Central Standard Time most nights of the week. Try to be here. I appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to get out of here. I got some more stuff I got to do before I go to bed. You all have a wonderful evening. I will talk to you later. Have a good night, everybody.